High above the clouds, beyond the thin blue line that shields Earth, a new battlefield is taking shape. It's invisible, silent, yet more decisive than any weapon on land, sea, or air. This is the battlefield of space. And while nations publicly speak of peaceful exploration, behind the scenes they are arming their satellites, mapping orbits, and preparing for conflicts that might one day begin or end in space. Today, the world space race is no longer about reaching the moon or Mars. It's about controlling the skies above the Earth itself. And at the heart of this quiet contest lie two rising powers, India and China.
Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music.
Since the dawn of the space age, space has been both a symbol of human achievement and a domain of military interest. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union weaponized space indirectly, through spy satellites, missile warning systems, and GPS networks. But the 21st century has seen a dramatic shift. With global dependence on space-based infrastructure, communications, navigation, early warning, and surveillance, the militarization of space is no longer theoretical. It's strategic necessity. Every modern army, every navy, every missile defense system, they all depend on satellites orbiting a few hundred kilometers above our heads. And nations that control these orbits control the battlefield below. In recent years, both China and India have recognized this reality, investing billions to ensure that in the next war, they are not left blind. China's space militarization is one of the most ambitious projects in modern history. From a late starter in the 1990s, China has now built a formidable military space architecture, one that rivals the United States in capability and scope. In 2015, Beijing established the People's Liberation Army Strategic Support Force, PLASSF, a massive organization that integrates cyber warfare, electronic warfare, and space operations under a single command. Its mission is simple but bold: to dominate the information domain, including space. The Beidou constellation, China's GPS alternative. Beidou isn't just a navigation system. It's a strategic shield. With over 40 satellites, Beidou provides China global positioning independent of the US GPS, ensuring that even during war, its forces remain connected, guided, and coordinated. It also enables precision missile strikes, drone operations, and real-time battlefield coordination, critical advantages in a modern war. The Tiangong space station and military research. Officially, Tiangong, Heavenly Palace, is a symbol of peaceful scientific exploration. Unofficially, it's a platform for dual-use experiments, from high-resolution imaging sensors to satellite communication relays. The line between civilian and military in China's space program is intentionally blurred. Anti-satellite asset capabilities. In 2007, China shocked the world when it destroyed one of its own satellites using a ground-launched missile, a demonstration of kinetic kill capability. Since then, China has developed advanced ASAT weapons, co-orbital interceptors, directed energy systems, and electronic jammers. It has tested proximity maneuvers, where satellites silently approach others in orbit, capable of disabling or even hijacking them. Orbital dominance and intelligence. China today operates over 600 active satellites, many of which serve military purposes: ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, electronic intelligence, missile tracking, and communications. Its space-based intelligence network extends from the South China Sea to the Himalayas. And in this network, every pixel, every radar echo, and every infrared signature is part of a larger objective: to build space dominance over Asia. For decades, India's space program, led by ISRO, proudly maintained a civilian, peaceful posture. But beneath this peaceful narrative, India quietly built the technological foundations for space defense. The turning point came in 2019 when India conducted Mission Shakti, an anti-satellite test that destroyed a live satellite in low Earth orbit. It was a statement to the world: India can defend itself in space. The Defense Space Agency, DSA. Following Mission Shakti, India established the Defense Space Agency, headquartered in Bengaluru, to coordinate all space-related military activities. Working with the Defense Space Research Organization, ISRO, it develops technologies for satellite protection, space situational awareness, and counter-space operations. The triad of Indian space power, India's space militarization, rests on three pillars: ISRO, providing the launch capability and satellite architecture; DRDO, developing space weapons, sensors, and command networks; Armed Forces, integrating these assets into operational doctrines. India now operates over 60 satellites, including GSAT series for communications, RISAT and Cartosat for reconnaissance, NAVIC for navigation and targeting. NAVIC, India's regional alternative to GPS, is being expanded to cover a global footprint, with encrypted military channels under development. Space as the fourth dimension of warfare. In modern warfare, India recognizes that space-based assets are as vital as aircraft or ships. Whether tracking Chinese troop movement in the Himalayas, guiding BrahMos missiles, or securing communications in the Indian Ocean, space is now embedded in India's defense network. On paper, China's space power dwarfs India's. Its satellite fleet is nearly 10 times larger, and its military integration far deeper. But the comparison is more nuanced. Technology versus doctrine. China's space dominance is technology-driven. Vast networks of satellites, reusable rockets, laser tracking, and cyber integration. India's strength lies in strategic restraint and innovation, achieving high performance with minimal cost and maximum precision. ISRO's track record in cost-efficient launches, indigenous systems, and deep space missions gives India a technological foundation that few can match. And now, under the Defense Space Command, India is transitioning from space support to space control. Space Situational Awareness, SSA. Both nations are investing heavily in SSA, the ability to track and interpret every object in orbit. For India, this is critical to detect hostile movements, collisions, or ASAT threats. The NETRA system, India's early warning radar network, is now operational, providing real-time monitoring of space assets. Private sector and strategic autonomy. Unlike China's state-controlled ecosystem, India's private space sector, led by startups like Skyroot, Agnikul, and Dhruva, adds agility and innovation. This hybrid model could give India long-term strategic autonomy, decentralizing capabilities while maintaining national control.
Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music.
Space warfare doesn't mean laser battles or satellites exploding in Hollywood fashion. It's subtler and far more dangerous. Kinetic kill systems, direct descent missiles, like those used in Mission Shakti, can destroy satellites but also create debris. Future systems may use co-orbital interceptors that disable targets without explosions. Directed energy weapons, DEW, lasers and microwave beams can blind or fry satellite sensors from the ground. Silent and deniable. Both India and China are investing in this field. Cyber and electronic warfare. In space, hacking can be as lethal as a missile. If an enemy takes control of a satellite's communication link, they can manipulate data, jam signals, or disable systems entirely. China has a lead here, integrating cyber operations under PLASSF. India is building redundancy, encrypted uplinks, hardened ground stations, and secure data relays. Orbital jamming and decoys. Future wars may see satellite swarms, small, autonomous drones acting as decoys, jammers, or kamikaze interceptors. India's research into miniaturized satellites and AI-based space control hints at this future. The militarization of space is not an isolated Asian phenomenon. The US established the Space Force in 2019. Russia continues to develop orbital interceptors. Japan and France now have dedicated space commands. But unlike the nuclear era, there are no clear treaties or deterrents in space. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 bans weapons of mass destruction in orbit, but says nothing about lasers, interceptors, or cyber tools. This legal vacuum makes space the Wild West of modern warfare, governed more by capability than by law. India's vision for space remains rooted in responsible defense. New Delhi advocates for a global code of conduct, emphasizing non-aggression and transparency. Yet, it understands that diplomacy without deterrence is fragile. Hence, India's path is measured militarization, building credible defensive capability without triggering an arms race. The coming decade will see expansion of NAVIC to global coverage, operationalization of Defense Space Command, indigenous development of ASAT 2.0, non-destructive systems, integration of AI and quantum communication for secure space links, and collaboration between ISRO and private sector for dual-use satellites. Meanwhile, China's ambitions remain aggressive, expanding Beidou, weaponizing space intelligence, and integrating space dominance into its overall intelligentized warfare doctrine. The silent war in space, therefore, is not about open confrontation. It's about positioning, perception, and persistence. The stars above have always inspired humanity, symbols of peace, exploration, and hope. But as nations weaponize the final frontier, space is no longer just the realm of scientists and dreamers. It's the ultimate high ground. And in this high ground, the battle for supremacy will not be fought with bullets or bombs, but with data, orbits, and silence. As India and China shape their destinies among the stars, the question remains: will space remain a sanctuary of peace, or will it become the next theater of war?
Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble, and you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.